Hey everyone, it's Deborah J. I wanted to do a little bit of a video about children's astrology. I've actually just finished a way over 2 hour soul navigation session with a client, so I'm a bit like half drained at the moment. But I keep getting asked about. I suppose I have a lot of parents who come to me for astrology and then they're like, oh, could I do this for my kid? Like, is this something that I can do for my kids? And the answer is yes. It's actually really, really helpful when you do children's astrology, just simply because I don't really do predictive astrology. It's not kind of what I focus on because one way or the other, the energies are going to happen. And what I focus more so is on the natal chart, so the birth chart. And so when we're looking at the natal chart of a child, it's just that it gives us a bigger picture as to who they are, who they're growing up to be. One of the things that I really love is showing the child's communication style to the parents, because when we can learn, like Mercury is the planet of communication, and where Mercury is, even just down to its type of element that it's in, the polarity or the mode that it's in, it shows us a lot about the kind of communication that we have with the world around us and the kind of communication that we need. So, excuse me, if you have a kid and they have Mercury, the planet of communication, in an earth sign, they're going to learn a lot more by practical hands-on kind of learning rather than being spoken at. So when we're in school and we're having a hard time understanding or studying or learning, chances are it's because the teacher is one particular type of communication style and you have a completely different communication style. And this is the same for adults. Look, it's the same for all of us, but I just find with adults it's really, really helpful to know their kids' type of communication style, which is just one teeny tiny little facet of it. I had a lady about 2 weeks ago and her child had Mercury combust the sun. So the Mercury and the sun were conjunct each other, on top of each other, and that can often be the sign of slower learning than, say, somebody else, or even Chiron having an aspect to your Mercury, or having challenging aspects to it, like Saturn or in Taurus or something like that. There's lots of different ways that we can look at it, is what I'm saying. But when our Mercury is aspected or in a specific sign or has a specific placement, it can be a challenge to our type of communication. And when we have kids and they're in school and they already have challenges in terms of the stress and anxiety that goes with it, it can be really, really helpful to basically understand their learning style, understand their communication style, and for us to be able to help them along that way. And again, I've all these examples coming into my head. I had a client for Reiki last week, or the week before last, and she was having a really hard time remembering things, like, actually taking information in from school subjects and studying and remembering them all. And it's because she was such a creative soul. And I just said to her, I was like, well, how about instead of trying to memorize all the words on a page, you create pictures and create drawings and comics and cartoons based on what it is that you've learned. So read the paragraph, read the passage, create a little cartoon and doodle it inside of the book. And she was like, oh my God, she was so excited. And since then I've heard that she's been doing really well as well. I've actually given that one to a couple of people and it's been really, really helpful. That's just one teeny tiny little part of what knowing your child's astrology can help them with. It can help in so many other ways. Their relationship style, it can show you their wounding. So we all have our own unique wounding. Chiron is the wounded healer. It is in all of our charts. And I found on past occasions when I have been able to, I suppose, explain a little bit about Chiron, the wounded healer, how it works in our charts and how it's working in their child's chart, the parents can sometimes see, or most often will see, okay, so it's not something that I'm doing that's causing my child to be this way. It's not something that I'm doing. I'm not harming, or I'm not causing more problems for my child. It's just something that they're going through. Because quite often as parents, they feel guilty because there's something going on. Maybe a child is being bullied in school, or maybe they're having challenges in relationships, or whatever it is that they may have additional stress or anxiety. Some kids may have fixations on like death and dying and stuff like that, and that's really hard for a parent to sit and see their child going through that. But when we can look at their astrological birth chart and see, okay, it's a placement, or it's a transit, or it's something that's in the child's chart, and it's normal and natural, and now learn how to support them through it. It's just huge, It takes a huge amount of guilt and pressure off the parents. It also helps them to understand the child more. It helps them to understand and support their child more. And then obviously I do coaching as well. So it's one thing to look at an astrological birth chart. It's another thing to know how to work with the energy from that as well. To get the best outcome. So if anybody's interested in looking at their children's birth chart to know a little bit more about them, as I said, that I've just like barely scratched the surface there. That is just a couple of very, very small pointers, which I've found in the last just recent while to be more of interest to parents. But if you're interested in booking a session, comment below or send me a message and let's have a chat about it. If you just want to even have a chit chat and see is it something for you, drop me a message and I shall talk to you soon. Bye.